Volume 9, Book 87, Number 111, narrated by Aisha. The commencement of the divine inspiration to Allah's apostle was in the form of good righteous, true dreams in his sleep. He never had a dream but that it came true like bright daylight. He used to go in seclusion, the cave of Hira, where he used to worship Allah alone continuously for many days, nights. He used to take with him the journey food for that stay and then come back to his wife Khadijah to take his food likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. The angel came to him in it and asked him to read. The Prophet replied, "I do not know how to read." The Prophet added, "The angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it any more. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read, whereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it any more. He then released me and asked me again to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read, or, what shall I read? Thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me and then released me and said, Read, in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, has created man from a clot. Read, and your Lord is most generous, up to that which he knew not. 96.15 Then Allah's apostle returned with the inspiration, his neck muscles twitching with terror till he entered upon Khadijah and said, Cover me. Cover me. They covered him till his fear was over, and then he said, O Khadijah, what is wrong with me? Then he told her everything that had happened and said, I fear that something may happen to me. Khadijah said, Never. But have the glad tidings, for by Allah, Allah will never disgrace you as you keep good reactions with your kith and kin, speak the truth, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously and assist the deserving, calamity-afflicted ones. Khadijah then accompanied him to her cousin Waraqah bin Nawfal bin Asad bin Abu Utsa bin Qusay. Waraqah was the son of her paternal uncle, i.e., her father's brother, who during the pre-Islamic period became a Christian and used to write the Arabic writing and used to write of the Gospels in Arabic as much as Allah wished him to write. He was an old man and had lost his eyesight. Khadijah said to him, O my cousin, listen to the story of your nephew. Waraqah asked, O my nephew, what have you seen? The Prophet described whatever he had seen. Waraqah said, This is the same Namuz, i.e., Gabriel, the angel who keeps the secrets whom Allah had sent to Moses. I wish I were young and could live up to the time when your people would turn you out. Allah's apostle asked, Will they turn me out? Waraqah replied in the affirmative and said, Never did a man come with something similar to what you have brought but was treated with hostility. If I should remain alive till the day when you will be turned out, then I would support you strongly. But after a few days Waraqah died and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while, and the Prophet became so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of high mountain, and every time he went up the top of a mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear before him and say, O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's apostle in truth, whereupon his heart would become quiet and he would calm down and would return home. And whenever the period of the coming of the inspiration used to become long, he would do as before, but when he used to reach the top of a mountain, Gabriel would appear before him and say to him what he had said before. Ibn Abbas said regarding the meaning of He it is that cleaves the daybreak from the darkness 6.96 that al-Asba means the light of the sun during the day and the light of the moon at night. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 112, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's apostle said, A good dream that comes true of a righteous man is one of 46 parts of prophetism. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 113, narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet said, A true good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. Volume 9, Book 87, number 114, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, if any one of you sees a dream that he likes, then it is from Allah, and he should thank Allah for it and narrate it to others. But if he sees something else, i.e., a dream that he dislikes, then it is from Satan, and he should seek refuge with Allah from its evil, and he should not mention it to anybody, for it will not harm him. Volume 9, Book 87, number 115, narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet said, a good dream that comes true is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. So if any one of you sees a bad dream, he should seek refuge with Allah from Satan and should spit on the left, for the bad dream will not harm him. Volume 9, Book 87, number 116, narrated by Ubadah bin as-Samit. The Prophet said, the good dreams of a faithful believer is a part of the 46 parts of Prophetism. Volume 9, Book 87, number 117, narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, the good dream of a faithful believer is a part of the 46 parts of Prophetism. Volume 9, Book 87, number 118, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, a good dream is a part of the 46 parts of Prophetism. Volume 9, Book 87, number 119, narrated by Abu Hurairah. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, nothing is left of the Prophetism except al-Mubasharat. They asked, what are al-Mubasharat? He replied, the true good dreams, that conveys glad tidings. Volume 9, Book 87, number 120, narrated by Ibn Umar. Some people were shown the night of Qadr as being in the last 7 days of the month of Ramadan. The Prophet said, seek it in the last 7 days of Ramadan. Volume 9, Book 87, number 121, narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, if I stayed in prison as long as Joseph stayed and then the messenger came, I would respond to his call to go out of the prison. Volume 9, Book 87, number 122, narrated by Abu Hurairah. I heard the Prophet saying, whoever sees me in the dream will see me in his wakefulness, and Satan cannot imitate me in shape. Abu Abdullah said, Ibn Sirin said, only if he sees the Prophet in his real shape. Volume 9, Book 87, number 123, narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, whoever has seen me in the dream, then no doubt, he has seen me, for Satan cannot imitate my shape. Volume 9, Book 87, number 124, narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet said, a good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. So whoever has seen, in the dream, something he dislike, then he should spit without saliva, thrice on his left and seek refuge with Allah from Satan, for it will not harm him, and Satan cannot appear in my shape. Volume 9, Book 87, number 125, narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet said, whoever sees me in the dream, then he indeed has seen the truth. Volume 9, Book 87, number 126, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, whoever sees me in the dream, then he indeed has seen the truth, as Satan cannot appear in my shape. Volume 9, Book 87, number 127, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, I have been given the keys of eloquent speech and given victory with awe, cast into the hearts of the enemy, and while I was sleeping last night, the keys of the treasures of the earth were brought to me till they were put in my hand. Abu Hurairah added, Allah's Apostle left this world, and now you people are carrying those treasures from place to place. Volume 9, Book 87, number 128, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Apostle said, I saw myself, in the dream, near the Kaaba last night, and I saw a man with whitish red complexion, the best you may see amongst men of that complexion, having long hair reaching his earlobes, which was the best hair of its sort, and he had combed his hair and water was dropping from it, and he was performing the tawaf around the Kaaba while he was leaning on two men or on the shoulders of two men. I asked, who is this man? Somebody replied, he's Messiah, son of Mary. Then I saw another man with very curly hair, blind in the right eye which looked like a protruding out grape. I asked, who is this? Somebody replied, he's Messiah, Ad-Dajjal. Volume 9, Book 87, number 129, narrated by Ibn Abbas. About a man who came to Allah's Apostle and said, I was shown in the dream last night. Then Ibn Abbas mentioned the narration. Volume 9, Book 87, number 130, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's Apostle used to visit Haram bint Milhan. She was the wife of Ubadah bin as-Samit. One day the Prophet visited her and she provided him with food and started looking for lice in his head. Then Allah's Apostle slept and afterwards woke up smiling. Haram asked, what makes you smile, O Allah's Apostle? He said, some of my followers were presented before me in my dream as fighters in Allah's cause, sailing in the middle of the seas like kings on the thrones or like kings sitting on their thrones. The narrator Ishaq is not sure as to which expression was correct. Haram added, I said, O Allah's Apostle, invoke Allah, to make me one of them. So Allah's Apostle invoked Allah for her and then laid his head down, and slept. Then he woke up smiling, again. Haram added, I said, what makes you smile, O Allah's Apostle? He said, some people of my followers were presented before me, in the dream, as fighters in Allah's cause. He said the same as he had said before. I said, O Allah's Apostle, invoke Allah to make me from them. He said, you are among the first ones. Then Haram sailed over the sea during the caliphate of Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, and she fell down from her riding animal after coming ashore, and died. Volume 9, Book 87, number 131, narrated by Kharija bin Zayd bin Thabit. Allah, an Ansari woman who had given a pledge of allegiance to Allah's Apostle, told me, the Muhajirun, emigrants, were distributed amongst us by drawing lots, and we got Uthman bin Mazun in our share. We made him stay with us in our house. Then he suffered from a disease which proved fatal. When he died and was given a bath and was shrouded in his clothes, Allah's Apostle came. I said, addressing the dead body, O Abbas Sahib, may Allah be merciful to you. I testify that Allah has honored you. Allah's Apostle said, how do you know that Allah has honored him? I replied, let my father be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Apostle. On whom else shall Allah bestow his honor? Allah's Apostle said, as for him, by Allah, death has come to him. By Allah, I wish him all good, from Allah. By Allah, in spite of the fact that I am Allah's Apostle, I do not know what Allah will do to me. Allah added, by Allah, I will never attest the righteousness of anybody after that. Volume 9, Book 87, number 132, narrated by Azri. Regarding the above narration, the Prophet said, I do not know what Allah will do to him, Uthman bin Mazun. Allah said, I felt very sorry for that, and then I slept and saw in the dream a flowing spring for Uthman bin Mazun, and told Allah's Apostle of that, and he said, that flowing spring symbolizes his good deeds. Volume 9, Book 87, number 133, narrated by Abu Qatada al-Ansari. A companion of the Prophet and one of his cavalrymen, I heard Allah's Apostle saying, a good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. So, if any one of you had a bad dream which he disliked, then he should spit on his left and seek refuge with Allah from it, for it will not harm him. Volume 9, Book 87, number 134, narrated by Ibn Umar. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, while I was sleeping, I was given a bowl full of milk in the dream, and I drank of it to my fill until I noticed its wetness coming out of my nails, and then I gave the rest of it to Umar. The people, asked, what have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle? He said, it is religious knowledge. Volume 9, Book 87, number 135, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, I was given a bowl full of milk in the dream, and I drank from it to my fill till I noticed its wetness coming out of my limbs. Then I gave the rest of it to Umar bin al-Khattab. The persons sitting around him asked, what have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle? He said, it is religious knowledge. Volume 9, Book 87, number 136, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, some people were displayed before me in the dream. They were wearing shirts, some of which were merely covering their breasts, and some a bit longer. Then there passed before me Umar bin al-Khattab wearing a shirt. He was dragging it on the ground behind him. The people asked, what have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle? He said, the religion. Volume 9, Book 87, number 137, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, while I was sleeping, I saw, in the dream, the people being displayed before me, wearing shirts, some of which were so short that it reached as far as their breasts, and some reached below that. Then, Umar bin al-Khattab was shown to me, and he was wearing a shirt which he was dragging behind him. They asked, what have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle? He said, the religion. Volume 9, Book 87, number 138, narrated by Qais bin Ubadah. I was sitting in a gathering in which there was Sa'd bin Malik and Ibn Umar. Abdullah bin Salam passed in front of them, and they said, this man is from the people of paradise. I said to Abdullah bin Salam, they said so and so. He replied, Subhanallah. They ought not to have said things of which they have no knowledge, but I saw, in the dream, that a post was fixed in a green garden. At the top of the post there was a handhold, and below it there was a servant. I was asked to climb the post. So I climbed it till I got hold of the handhold. Then I narrated this dream to Allah's Apostle. Allah's Apostle said, Abdullah will die while still holding the firm reliable handhold, i.e., Islam. Volume 9, Book 87, number 139, narrated by Aisha. Allah's Apostle said to me, you were shown to me twice in my dream. Behold, a man was carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and said to me, she is your wife, so uncover her, and behold, it was you. I would then say to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. Volume 9, Book 87, number 140, narrated by Aisha. Allah's Apostle said to me, you were shown to me twice in my dream before I married you. I saw an angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, uncover her, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. Then you were shown to me, the angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, uncover her, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. Volume 9, Book 87, number 141, narrated by Abu Hurairah. I heard Allah's apostle saying, I have been sent with Jami al-Kalim, i.e., the shortest expression carrying the widest meanings, and I was made victorious with awe, cast into the hearts of the enemy, and while I was sleeping, the keys of the treasures of the earth were brought to me and were put in my hand. Muhammad said, Jami al-Kalim means that Allah expresses in one or two statements or thereabouts the numerous matters that used to be written in the books revealed before the coming of the Prophet. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 142. Narrated by Abdullah bin Salam. In the dream I saw myself in a garden, and there was a pillar in the middle of the garden, and there was a handhold at the top of the pillar. I was asked to climb it. I said, I cannot. Then the servant came and lifted up my clothes and I climbed the pillar, and then got hold of the handhold, and I woke up while still holding it. I narrated that to the Prophet, who said, the garden symbolizes the garden of Islam, and the handhold is the firm Islamic handhold, which indicates that you will be adhering firmly to Islam until you die. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 143. Narrated by Ibn Umar. I saw in the dream a piece of silken cloth in my hand, and in whatever direction in paradise I waved it, it flew, carrying me there. I narrated this dream to my sister Hafsa, and she told it to the Prophet, who said to Hafsa, indeed, your brother is a righteous man, or, indeed, Abdullah is a righteous man. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 144. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's apostle said, when the day of resurrection approaches, the dreams of a believer will hardly fail to come true, and the dream of a believer is one of 46 parts of prophetism, and whatever belongs to prophetism can never be false. Muhammad bin Sirin said, but I say this. He said, it used to be said, there are three types of dreams. The reflection of one's thoughts and experiences one has during wakefulness, what is suggested by Satan to frighten the dreamer, or glad tidings from Allah. So, if someone has a dream which he dislikes, he should not tell it to others, but get up and offer a prayer. He added, he, Abu Hurairah, hated to see a gull, i.e., iron collar around his neck in the dream, and people liked to see fetters on their feet in the dream. The fetters on the feet symbolizes one's constant and firm adherence to religion. And Abu Abdullah said, gulls, iron collars are used only for necks. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 145. Narrated by Kharija bin Zayd bin Thabit. Allah, an Ansari woman who had given the pledge of allegiance to Allah's apostle, said, Uthman bin Mazun came in our share when the Ansars drew lots to distribute the emigrants, to dwell among themselves. He became sick and we looked after, nursed him till he died. Then we shrouded him in his clothes. Allah's apostle came to us. I, addressing the dead body, said, May Allah's mercy be on you, O Abbas Sahib. I testify that Allah has honored you. The Prophet said, How do you know that? I replied, I do not know, by Allah. He said, As for him, death has come to him and I wish him all good from Allah. By Allah, though I am Allah's apostle, I neither know what will happen to me, nor to you. Allah said, By Allah, I will never attest the righteousness of anybody after that. She added, Later I saw in the dream a flowing spring for Uthman. So I went to Allah's apostle and mentioned that to him. He said, That is the symbol of his good deeds, the reward for which is going on for him. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 146. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's apostle said, I saw in the dream that while I was standing at a well and drawing water therefrom, suddenly Abu Bakr and Umar came to me. Abu Bakr took the bucket and drew 1 or 2 buckets full of water, but there was weakness in his pulling, but Allah forgave him. Then Ibn al-Khattab took the bucket from Abu Bakr's hand and the bucket turned into a very large one in his hand. I have never seen any strong man among the people doing such a hard job as Umar did, till the people drank to their satisfaction and watered their camels to their fill, and they sat near the water. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 147, narrated by Salim's father. About the Prophet's dream in which he has seen Abu Bakr and Umar. The Prophet said, I saw, in the dream, that the people had gathered. Then Abu Bakr stood up and pulled out 1 or 2 buckets full of water from a well, and there was weakness in his pulling. May Allah forgive him. Then Ibn al-Khattab stood up, and the bucket turned into a very large one, and I have never seen any strong man among the people doing such a hard job. He pulled out so much water that the people drank to their satisfaction and watered their camels to their fill, and then after quenching their thirst they sat beside the water. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 148, narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself standing at a well over which there was a bucket. I pulled out from it as many buckets of water as Allah wished, and then Ibn Abi Quhafa, Abu Bakr, took the bucket from me and pulled out 1 or 2 full buckets, and there was weakness in his pull. May Allah forgive him. Then the bucket turned into a very large one, and Umar bin al-Khattab took it. I have never seen any strong man among the people drawing water with such strength as Umar did, till the people drank to their satisfaction and watered their camels to their fill, whereupon the camels sat beside the water. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 149, narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself standing over a tank well, giving water to the people to drink. Then Abu Bakr came to me and took the bucket from me in order to relieve me, and he pulled out 1 or 2 full buckets, and there was weakness in his pulling. May Allah forgive him. Then Ibn al-Khattab took it from him and went on drawing water till the people left, after being satisfied, while the tank was overflowing with water. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 150, narrated by Abu Hurairah. We were sitting with Allah's Apostle. He said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself in paradise. Suddenly I saw a woman performing ablution beside a palace. I asked, for whom is this palace? They, the angels, replied, it is for Umar bin al-Khattab. Then I remembered Umar's ghira and went back hurriedly. On hearing that, Umar started weeping and said, let my father and mother be sacrificed for you. O Allah's Apostle! How dare I think of my ghira being offended by you? Volume 9, Book 87, Number 151, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. Allah's Apostle said, I saw in the dream that I entered paradise, and behold, there was a palace built of gold. I asked, for whom is this palace? They, the angels, replied, for a man from the Quraysh. The Prophet added, O Ibn al-Khattab, nothing stopped me from entering it except your ghira. Umar said, how dare I think of my ghira being offended by you, O Allah's Apostle? Volume 9, Book 87, Number 152, narrated by Abu Hurairah. We were sitting with Allah's Apostle. He said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself in paradise, and behold, a woman was performing ablution by the side of a palace. I asked, for whom is this palace? They replied, for Umar. Then I remembered the ghira of Umar and returned immediately. Umar wept on hearing that and said, let my father and mother be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Apostle. How dare I think of my ghira being offended by you? Volume 9, Book 87, Number 153, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself performing the tawaf of the Kaaba. Behold, there I saw a whitish red lank-haired man, holding himself between 2 men with water dropping from his hair. I asked, who is this? The people replied, He is the son of Mary. Then I turned my face to see another man with red complexion, big body, curly hair, and blind in the right eye which looked like a protruding out grape. I asked, "Who is he?" They replied, "He is Hadeeth. Ibn Khaytan resembles him more than anybody else among the people, and Ibn Khaytan was a man from Bani al-Mustalik from Khuza'ah." Volume 9, Book 87, Number 154. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, while I was sleeping, I saw a bowl full of milk was brought to me, and I drank of it, to my fill, till I noticed its wetness flowing in my body. Then I gave the remaining of it to Umar. They asked, "O Allah's Apostle, what have you interpreted about the dream?" He said, "It is religious knowledge." See Hadeeth number 134. Volume 9, Book 87, Number 155. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Men from the companions of Allah's Apostle used to see dreams during the lifetime of Allah's Apostle, and they used to narrate those dreams to Allah's Apostle. Allah's Apostle would interpret them as Allah wished. I was a young man and used to stay in the mosque before my wedlock. I said to myself, if there were any good in myself, I too would see what these people see. So when I went to bed one night, I said, "O Allah, if you see any good in me, show me a good dream." So while I was in that state, there came to me, in the dream, two angels. In the hand of each of them, there was a mace of iron, and both of them were taking me to hell, and I was between them, invoking Allah, "O Allah, I seek refuge with you from hell." Then I saw myself being confronted by another angel holding a mace of iron in his hand. He said to me, "Do not be afraid, you will be an excellent man if you only pray more often." So they took me till they stopped me at the edge of hell, and behold, it was built inside like a well, and it had side posts like those of a well, and beside each post there was an angel carrying an iron mace. I saw therein many people hanging upside down with iron chains, and I recognized therein some men from the Quraysh. Then, the angels took me to the right side. I narrated this dream to my sister Hafsa, and she told it to Allah's Apostle. Allah's Apostle said, "No doubt, Abdullah is a good man." Nafi said, "Since then, Abdullah bin Umar used to pray much." Volume 9, Book 87, Number 156. Narrated by Ibn Umar. I was a young unmarried man during the lifetime of the Prophet. I used to sleep in the mosque. Anyone who had a dream would narrate it to the Prophet. I said, "O Allah, if there is any good for me with you, then show me a dream so that Allah's Apostle may interpret it for me." So I slept and saw, in the dream, two angels came to me and took me along with them, and they met another angel who said to me, "Don't be afraid, you are a good man." They took me towards the fire, and behold, it was built inside like a well, and therein I saw people, some of whom I recognized, and then the angels took me to the right side. In the morning, I mentioned that dream to Hafsa. Hafsa told me that she had mentioned it to the Prophet, and he said, "Abdullah is a righteous man if he only prays more at night." Azri said, "After that, Abdullah used to pray more at night." Volume 9, Book 87, Number 157. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, while I was sleeping, I saw that a cup full of milk was brought to me, and I drank of it and gave the remaining of it to Umar bin al-Khattab. They asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle?" The Prophet said, "It is religious knowledge." Volume 9, Book 87, Number 158. Narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas. Allah's Apostle said, while I was sleeping, two golden bangles were put in my two hands, so I got scared, frightened, and disliked it, but I was given permission to blow them off, and they flew away. I interpret it as a symbol of two liars who will appear. Ubaydullah said, one of them was Ansi, who was killed by Faraz at Yemen, and the other was Musaylama at Najd. Volume 9, Book 87, number 159. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet said, I saw in the dream that I was migrating from Mecca to a land where there were date palm trees. I thought that it might be the land of Al-Yamama or Hajar, but behold, it turned out to be Yathrib, i.e. Medina. And I saw cows being slaughtered there, but the reward given by Allah is better than worldly benefits. Behold, those cows proved to symbolize the believers who were killed on the day of the battle of Uhud, and the good which I saw in the dream was the good and the reward and the truth which Allah bestowed upon us after the Badr battle, or the battle of Uhud, and that was the victory bestowed by Allah in the battle of Khaybar and the conquest of Mecca. Volume 9, Book 87, number 160. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, we, Muslims, are the last to come, but will be the foremost on the day of resurrection. Allah's Apostle further said, while sleeping, I was given the treasures of the world, and 2 golden bangles were put in my hands, but I felt much annoyed, and those 2 bangles distressed me very much, but I was inspired that I should blow them off, so I blew them and they flew away. Then I interpreted that those 2 bangles were the liars between whom I was, i.e., the one of Sana and the one of Yamama. Volume 9, Book 87, number 161. Narrated by Abdullah. The Prophet said, I saw, in the dream, a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling at Mahayya, i.e., Al-Jaffa. I interpreted that as a symbol of epidemic of Medina being transferred to that place, Al-Jaffa. Volume 9, Book 87, number 162. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Concerning the dream of the Prophet in Medina, the Prophet said, I saw, in the dream, a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling at Mahayya. I interpreted that as a symbol of the epidemic of Medina being transferred to Mahayya, namely, Al-Jaffa. Volume 9, Book 87, number 163. Narrated by Salim's father. The Prophet said, I saw, in the dream, a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling in Mahayya. I interpreted that as a symbol of epidemic of Medina being transferred to Mahayya, namely, Al-Jaffa. Volume 9, Book 87, number 164. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet said, I saw in the dream that I waved a sword and it broke in the middle, and behold, that symbolized the casualties the believers suffered on the day of the battle of Uhud. Then I waved the sword again, and it became better than it had ever been before, and behold, that symbolized the conquest of Mecca which Allah brought about in the gathering of the believers. Volume 9, Book 87, number 165. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, whoever claims to have seen the dream which he did not see, will be ordered to make a knot between 2 barley grains, which he will not be able to do. And if somebody listens to the talk of some people who do not like him to listen, or they run away from him, then molten lead will be poured into his ears on the day of resurrection. And whoever makes a picture will be punished on the day of resurrection, and will be ordered to put a soul in that picture, which he will not be able to do. Volume 9, Book 87, number 166. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. As above, 165. Volume 9, Book 87, number 167. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's Apostle said, the worst lie is that a person claims to have seen the dream which he has not seen. Volume 9, Book 87, number 168. Narrated by Abu Salama. I used to see a dream which would make me sick till I heard Abu Qatada saying, I too used to see a dream which would make me sick till I heard the Prophet saying, a good dream is from Allah. So if any one of you saw a dream which he liked, he should not tell it to anybody except to the one whom he loves. And if he saw a dream which he disliked, then he should seek refuge with Allah from its evil and from the evil of Satan, and spit 3 times on his left, and should not tell it to anybody, for it will not harm him. Volume 9, Book 87, number 169. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, if any one of you saw a dream which he liked, then that was from Allah, and he should thank Allah for it and tell it to others. But if he saw something else, i.e., a dream which he did not like, then that is from Satan, and he should seek refuge with Allah from it and should not tell it to anybody, for it will not harm him. Not tell it to anybody, for it will not harm him. Not tell it to anybody, for it will not harm